welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. I'm Jade Harrell, and I'm joined by my girls, Ivy Hartman, Jamie Valentine Dolby, and Amber Clear. Ladies, welcome back. Happy New Year. Whew. Hope you had a beautiful holiday season. Have your mind set on the year to come. What are you loving?
Me? You know what? I'm like, oh, okay. So for me, you guys, the reset isn't really January, because if you build it up, then I'm always just going to be like, well, I'm going to fail, right? Like, that's the thing. So birthday for me, which is coming up February, is kind of my reset button and reevaluate. Like, how did the year go behind? And then, like, what's the next year ahead? Like, what's the new thing? And so I haven't really contemplated what the 2025 thing's going to be, right? So I'm just still kind of basking in whatever is going on right now and having fun.
I love that. So how are you feeling and taking on the new year?
I am loving that I am finally learning that my vibe is not for everyone. And I'm taking a piece from Jamie where I am just being very direct and just communication and taking up space and saying, like, this is not for me. I wish you well, but goodbye. So, and I think of her every time.
Nice.
I'm like, what would Jamie do?
Well said.
We can use those WWJD bracelets.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
It's about being assertive and be like, you are toxic for my space, so get out.
I'm here for it. Well, still, teacher,
I'm here for
keep
it.
endowing us with that gift. And so what are you feeling?
So 2025 kicks off my halfway to 90 year.
Hey.
So I'm loving it.
Halfway to 90.
That's what I'm calling it. Like, I don't want to say 45.
Right.
It's halfway to 90. And that really puts things into perspective.
Right.
So you can either look at it like, yeesh, I'm getting close, or it's like, I had a good amount of time.
You made it this far.
And I got a good amount of time I still get to live.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited about growing. I'm excited about celebrating the memories that I have, and just like, hopefully I'll go on tour this year with Sexy Red. But most likely I'll probably still be here in St. Louis enjoying things with you ladies.
Yes.
Which is great. It's a great second.
Yeah,
which is great as well.
Well, we can't kick off St. Louis. We can't get St. Louis right without you. So don't be gone too long.
So no tour dates. I'll stay here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just bring the joy back to us. So I guess just for me, who's already in half 100, it doesn't feel quite as ambitious, because I feel like I got more years behind.
But you just come back from this lifetime trip.
Yeah, and I'm just still breathless right now. And I say breathless, meaning I appreciate every breath in this moment, every cycle of inhale, every cycle of exhale. And I get that I have one key job with two primary functions, and that's just love God and love people. The rest, I'm riding the wave of grace that's given each day. So I'm reflective. But I am ready to get into some good things, like get out more. I mean, I just want to experience. It makes me appreciate experience in life more.
Yeah, and having an experience rather than things.
Yeah. Every single time. So what we have to experience coming up on the show is going to be great, because we're talking about the new artistic director of the Repertory Theater of St. Louis. So this year is all about new beginnings. And our guest today is experiencing a new beginning, and we'll tell you all about that, for those things for herself. So make sure you stay with us, and y'all stay with us, because we have the new Augustin family artistic director of the Rep when we get back. Stay with us.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. For nearly 60 years, the Repertory Theater of St. Louis has been entertaining and engaging audiences with compelling and award-winning productions. Its 58th season kicked off this season with a timeless classic and a new Augustin family artistic director. And she's here with us today. Please join me in welcoming Kate Bergstrom. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Jade. It's an honor to be with y'all.
Are you kidding? We're so delighted. Welcome to the long line of directors that have joined us. And so, Kate, you're number 8.
Oh my gosh, that's
How
right.
did you get into this space, this work? Even what led you on this path to the rep?
That's like a wonderful question because it's multiple questions that are all wonderful to talk about.
Yeah.
I would say thank you for welcoming me as number 8 here. I've directed 2 shows at the Rep before.
That's right.
And it was so special because the community and the sense of vibrant place making and the desire to like thrive was really in the bones of those pieces.
That's right.
Particularly, I did It's a Wonderful Life last year, which had jingles included in it as a radio play for Schnucks and Crown Candy Kitchen that we wrote, and that kind of made me go, okay, St. Louis is a place to be. I want to see what would happen if I planted my roots here.
Really? And that's what sold you.
Yeah.
Well, we're so glad you're here.
Thanks.
Just let us get a glimpse of what that world is like to create a production for the Repertory. Like, what does it take?
Like a whole season.
Exactly.
Well, we're talking about by a production.
Yeah, well, because I was crazy about that, the This Life, though.
Right.
This American Life, right.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life. I said This American Life. NPR on the brain. It's a Wonderful Life. But what informs that for you? How do you even...
That's a wonderful question too, because I think that the process of making one play is so similar to the process of planning an entire season. And the ethos at the Rep for us right now is relevance, excellence, and experience.
I love that.
Yes,
Wow.
so we want to make something that's relevant, is going to resonate with you, and that you're going to find something that you really take with and from and within the experience. And then, of course, the experience has to be extraordinary. From the moment you walk out of your car to our amazing lobby, you get your refreshments, you come in and you see a story that delights you or is transcendent or moves you. That's how I want the process to be too, which has to do with collaborating with amazing staff, designers, the actors, of course, who are just quintessential collaborators, and a playwright who has their own vision for a story.
Exactly.
You mentioned having Schnucks and Crown Candy in your last production or in a past production. One of the things I don't think people realize is St. Louis is really an arts town.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if you know it unless you're really a native or if you spent a lot of time here. Talk about the arts community and the St. Louis connection and how, because I feel like if you're from here, you support the Rep, like you've been there, you love it. But what is that special connection with the theater in St. Louis?
Well, I think it's really exciting that you're talking about the St. Louis of it all, because we are the Repertory Theater of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And for us this season and beyond, we're looking at least 50% local engagement on stage and off for talent, and bringing in some of the nation's best from Broadway and beyond, which you could see on our stages. Aren't necessarily mutually exclusive when you've got one of the stars of Dial M for Murder earlier this season coming onto our stage after a stint on Broadway, but being born and raised in St. Louis. So it all, like, that's the quality of arts and arts education you can get in this amazing greater city and county area. And that's why I go, okay, we want to keep putting that on our stages and bringing those folks into the fold.
High praise coming from somebody who has studied at UCLA and Brown. Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you.
And then lived in New York.
Yes, it's for 10 years.
So talk about the differences in like the iteration of becoming Kate and then coming here.
Well, that's very sweet. Well, I was an actor many, many moons ago, 100 years ago, back in LA after going to a conservatory program at UCLA. And that's where I really started learning about, okay, storytelling is a craft beyond just one character, one actor. It's a craft that involves a vision for an entire experience and a journey. And that's when I went, and as a woman or femme identifying person, in my case, I went, okay, I always thought directing was a highly, male dominated endeavor. I was totally inspired by my professors way back when to go, no, look at this. You can do this. And it changed my whole life, the trajectory of my whole life. So that inspired me to go to Brown to learn more about directing, and then direct freelance around the country for many years, and then come here.
My goodness.
Yes.
Well, that's quite a world in constant motion.
Yeah.
And you're a new mom.
I am a new Oh, that's true.
So, since I like to layer my questions, Jamie brought in a good one. As a new mom, how do you find your, I don't want to use the word balance.
But totally.
You know, but then also, what will you show your little one about St. Louis?
This is one of my favorite questions you've asked, because this is from a book that we got called I Love You, St. Louis, where there's little bears going around St. Louis. I have been so excited to raise my little one in St. Louis. I'll take the second part of your question first.
Of course.
Because there is such a thriving, not only art scene, but also for early childhood education, such a thriving scene here. And so many opportunities, from the free zoo, which is like nationally renowned, to the arts and the different, everything from different colleagues of mine having things like Metro Theater has a baby disco for kids, to I know you're talking about, but our camp rep has an education moment in the summer, which has kids from 5 on making pieces together. I'm like, that's what I can't wait for my child Otto to grow up in. And then being a new mom, I love your word balance, and I always think about like harmony.
That's it.
Like 3 dimensions.
I was hoping you'd bring the artistry to that concept.
Whereas like balance just like such a struggle. Harmony feels like it's an opportunity to include it in. And it also makes me more empathetic for so many of our artists who are also parents. And also for so many of our constituents who I hope are kids. Like it's talking about
good thinking.
Developing a love for theater early, both as viewers and participants.
Yes. We were talking earlier about coming up next at the Rep is Sherwood, The Adventures of Robin Hood.
That sounds exciting.
It's going to be so much fun. If you saw our backstage pass many moons ago, you saw some stage combat that we showcased at the library. And that piece is going to have so much for kids 10 years old and up and their families to enjoy. That I just go, here's a moment where kids can be, we were talking about kids doing improv with adults, where kids can feel the agency and the power of what's possible, and their parents can be like, oh yeah, I remember seeing Robin Hood as a kid. I remember reading it. So multiple generations can come together.
And what's neat about the Rep though, you're like fully immersed. Like I don't care where you're sitting, you're like, you feel like you're right there. So if there's stage combat happening, or like you're talking about the angst or the power of the kids being able to feel what's happening, I'm part of it, right? Even though I'm just a voyeur or whatever.
But that resonates so much beyond just that stage and that space. Because now you're adding vitality to the region altogether, so that we do have what makes it rich for our young people.
And you're speaking to it particularly, why theater, which is that live experience where you are a participant at any moment in time is so special. There was a study done where in a theater, after I think 90 minutes, people's heartbeats sync up in a live theater or a performance experience, which I think is so special with especially as a kid, to be in tune with adults, kids around you.
Contributing.
And 2, we have this wonderful program called the Imaginary Theater Company, where our shows go out over 200 miles beyond St. Louis in the rural areas around Missouri and Illinois.
Where art is lacking.
Where opportunity is lacking, and where sometimes it's these kids' first theatrical experience that we give them literally an interactive piece. We're doing Stella Luna this year with about the bats and the birds, where there'll be puppets and things flying around in their classrooms, in children's hospitals, at the zoo, in places where kids are going to be able to feel, theater is something that helps make my life more vibrant and vital, and I can be a part of it.
It also teaches them constructive feedback and how to take constructive feedback and move with it, because that's something that's so vital in the theater community for kids, that they have this great imagination station where they get to develop the character, but they're also learning how to use feedback, and that constructive feedback is not a bad thing.
I love that. And collaboration.
Right.
Yeah.
I think when you learn those emotions, and I think theater allows you to be free with emotion. Like, it allows you to be free. It allows you to laugh. It allows you to cry. It allows you to be angry, all in one setting. And I think that when you can manage your emotions early for kids, like, that really is like violence prevention. It's mental health. Because you are saying that it's okay to be sad, and then 20 minutes later you can be happy.
Yes.
You can go through, laughter, all of that in one setting. And so I do. You talked about the live experience. I really do feel like the repertory theater is lobby, stage, streets. Like it is. It really is. Because when you walk in, I don't know if you've ever been, like to the Repertory, when you in, like it's not uncommon to see an artist or an actor like come out, join.
Oh, absolutely.
You're saying your fellow theater goers out there. It does feel like, even if you go alone, you kind of feel like family.
Agreed.
Like right when you come in. It's very much
That's cool.
a thing.
So Kate, are you also responsible for the artistic direction that goes? Wow.
Yes, for the breadth of what you're going to see on stage in a season. So this year,
and the 200 miles out in the other regions as well?
Oh, yeah. So that means, so for ITC, I'm responsible, but also truly just a humble collaborator with some brilliant folks
yes, of course.
who are making this piece. Our learning and community engagement team has a wonderful director, Brittany Daniels, who's leading Stella Luna this year.
Yeah.
But I help curate this season, especially for next year, having taken on many of the pieces this year that were already curated by the wonderful Danny Williams, my managing director, partner in crime, and beyond.
Oh my goodness. So we're looking forward to the upcoming season. So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the series and what's in store for us. But I can imagine this really invigorates your spirit. I can just tell in how you're sharing. It's exciting for us too.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, but stay with us. We'll have more with Kate Bergstrom. She is the Augustin Family Artistic Director of the Rep, and we'll talk with her more when we get back.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes. And way over here, busy moms. No?
And welcome back to Let's Talk. We've been getting to know Kate Bergstrom from the Repertory Theater of St. Louis. Tell us what this Augustin Family Artistic Director means. It's such quite a great title to say. My mouth loves it.
That's wonderful. It's an amazing honor. So the Augustin family endows the position of artistic director to ensure quality and wonderful experiences at the Rep for years to come. Anne Augustin passed away earlier this year, and the season's actually dedicated to her. She and her family are both avid theater goers and also participants. And Margaret is a dear friend of mine now, her daughter, and love having her on the board and her perspective because she sees so much theater is so fun and great.
That gives you quite a task as well because it's designed for legacy.
Yes, it is.
But it sounds like you have a good grip on that.
I think so. I hope so. And I think that the goal for me is when we head towards our 60th in a couple of years, our 60th anniversary, how are we going to be a crown jewel that unites the region with so many different perspectives and people and this undergirding humanity underneath us all? How can we keep being a crown jewel in St. Louis's a crown, but also beyond. So I'm looking at 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, making sure we can make lasting impact in the region.
You're here for the long haul.
I'm here for the long haul. As long as you'll have me.
Listen, you had a baby in St. Louis. They're a true St. Louisan, right? So like, because I'm a transplant.
You're never getting out of here.
You're not from here. So then you just kind of stay. And there's so many.
Got our kids.
As a transplant, you kind of get that, right? So talk about the studio series.
Yes. So the studio series is so exciting because earlier this season, you have seen The Roommate in the studio, and that was the first reopening of the studio in 5 or 6 years. We got to relaunch this endeavor for adventurous theater and adventurous theater goers who want an experience that's even more intimate and sort of this newer piece of vibe, a vibrant, vital, fun and sort of poignant experience.
It sounds mysterious. Describe that for me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, The Roommate that happened, I think, was so wonderful with Kelly and Nancy and Rebecca Scallett from New Jewish, who directed it. it was a piece about coming of age in the late 50s of someone's life. And you, as the audience member, were literally sitting around within their kitchen, within them. Like, you feel like you're right a part of it. It's like 120 seats, and you are up close and personal with these two actors as they're laughing and crying and having this moment, this experience together. And then, yeah, it's so special. Athena, which is opening in January, is about two female fencers vying for one spot in the Junior Olympics. And there's live fencing on stage.
Around people.
Well, and this one's set up like a tennis court, so it's almost like you would see it in like a tournament. So the audience is on both sides. And that's the joy of the studio, is you'll never have the same setup twice. You're in there, and it's a smaller experience. You've got 100 people seeing this more adventurous piece of newer play there.
It's such an intimate setting.
Yeah, so intimate.
Yeah. So this is something. Go ahead, Jamie.
What brought that on? What motivated that? Because I think we're living in a time where everyone's wanting bigger and better, and then there's also this need for kind of intimacy.
Connection.
There's so much that we just want to just touch and feel right up close.
Like, Jamie, you just spoke to it. That's it. For me, I go, sometimes it's so amazing to have that big, we're all in this 600 seat theater, 800 seat theater together. And sometimes I want to go, oh, you and I are sitting next to each other, and this thing's happening. We go, and it's you right there, me, and that person across sees it, and we're having this connective moment. That intimacy. Because I feel like more and more there will be a premium on live experience. Because we have so much wonderful, we have so much wonderful online experience. We have wonderful TV, film experiences, but this live experience, to have two different kinds of experience. The big, show coming up, Collides, which is going to be so much fun. And then this small studio intimate thing that you can say to your friends. Like, I had this experience with only 100 other people. It was really fun.
It's so innovative, but it's like it's a classic. It's so like interesting that it's but it really takes us back to something core within us. And I believe that's connection.
Yes, Jade, connection is key. Connection, and again, we talked about that undergirding humanity, like celebration of being alive. And liveness is such a celebration of being alive to me.
How do you direct, and how do you learn as an actor? I'm sure it's part of the training to do a show. Imagine, like, we're doing our show and everybody's like right up in it, right? Or like I'm delivering lines that I have to memorize. Like, I mean, you do the shows all the time and people are in close proximity.
Oh, I get on people's table. Like, I literally will climb over people. I do stand-up comedy, and one of my favorite things is, like, the bigger the theater, the worse it is for me. Like, I love to be on top of people. So there's several. I've broken so many tables. I don't even. And I have chairs. I have these like stories, and I get like, they're very like, I'm animated and I get excited, and the audience gets excited, and like men will reach out to catch me, and women will reach out to hold my hair, and it's like a whole experience.
I love it.
I'm pretty sure I need to see this.
Absolutely.
We will all go.
I like talk. So my comedy is interactive.
Yes. Well, I'll bring the baby. Yes, exactly. Bring the baby. We'll have our first stand-up comedy night.
But that's more pressure for you.
Well, and it's the same thing that you're talking about, is you're making that one-on-one connection with folks right there. I think what's so fun for actors is that feeling, like, what's that feeling that, oh my gosh, someone's responding in real time.
It's the intensity of emotion that you're sharing with a complete stranger, but you're on the same page. And you're both like just intensely in this. And then it's kind of sad sometimes when you leave after and you're like, oh my God, we have this connection. And they're like, you want to be Facebook friends? And I'm like,
Oh, that's great. That's great. The ephemeral nature of it, I think, that it comes and goes. It's just like life, right? It's a moment. And because it's only that moment and that very specific moment, that's what makes it.
You appreciate it so much, that connection, even though it's a stranger. Like, that's what you need in that moment.
And you can have that small or big.
That's it. Is that what sparked acting for you as a little girl?
Yes, and actually, there's a story here. We're talking
storytelling.
About mini storytelling, and why I'm so passionate about. Also, I love ensemble creative endeavors where people can play different parts. When It's a Wonderful Life, it's like some people were playing 6 or 7 parts in the same piece. when I was a little kid, a little girl in middle school, everyone was auditioning for Peter Pan and all the girls were auditioning for Wendy. And I was like, okay, try. And I was like 5'10" or whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm like, those boys of Peter Pan are like this big. And I went in and I did my audition. And I just felt, I was like, this is so wrong, but I know I want to be part of this, the community, the connection, all of it. I knocked things over. I'm so excited. And the theater teacher actually came out after she said, you know what, I have a question for you. Would you consider auditioning for Captain Hook?
Wow. I just love that because that puts you out of character and it develops so much confidence.
And you weren't offended. You were like...
And I was not offended. I was like, give me one night. And I came in and I was like, little eighth group was like, I crushed that audition.
Right.
And I was cast, and that it was like from there on out, I knew that I could be anything.
That's it.
I wanted to be.
It's such a confidence boost. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, I can be Captain Hook. I can do anything.
Yes,
the
you
theater
can.
opened that adventure. It's like, you can literally do anything. The theater's a place that sets you free.
That's it. So how are you going to rock this season as artistic director?
Oh, well, that's such a great question. Well, our next season's going to be announced soon.
Do we know any?
I can't share anything yet. I know. It's exciting, but I do want to share that right now we've got Clyde's coming into the fold, which is so exciting because Lynn Nottage, Pulitzer Prize winner, nationally renowned artist, is going to come into a conversation with us too that St. Louis can be a part of with Opera Theater St. Louis and beyond. It's huge.
That is awesome.
And Clyde's was on with Uzo Aduba on Broadway, and this is, our production is going to feature local actors and actors from all over the country talking about the reconnection with their own power and vitality through food, through becoming foodies after being part of the prison industrial system.
Dude.
So we're working with Prison Performing Arts, and we're talking about...
I need a second. Oh my gosh. How do we...
board member there?
Oh,
yes.
Well, and we're talking about redemption.
Danny's good with that.
Oh,
yes.
It's like we're talking about redemption. We're talking about the love of sandwiches and food, which is universal. But then this idea of like, what does it mean to find your own power and possibility again after such a difficult moment?
That's it.
Yes.
What's your invitation as we close for viewers that may not have had the experience and you want to invite them out to have that first time and get to know you?
Oh, this is so important, Jade. I have two invitations. One, come and bring a young person to the theater and experience it together and remind yourself what it's like to have a vital storytelling moment with a young person whose world is just opening to new possibilities.
That's right.
And two, if you've never been to the Rep or if you've had an experience you weren't wild about, come give the whole experience a shot because we've got a really great season lineup coming at you for next season too. And from the moment you walk into that lobby, I guarantee you will not regret having stepped out of your doors and into a new story, a new journey.
I am so excited to be on this journey with you, and you're sharing it with us. And let's see you on into 60.
Yes!
So we can do the tribute and legacy as it's so appropriate and well-timed for you. Thank you so much for joining us. Man, Kate, you have just made our day. It's truly been a pleasure, though our interview is sadly over. The Rep's current season is far from it. You can find all the details on their upcoming productions and learn more about the Repertory Theater of St. Louis at repstl.org. Stay with us. There's more Let's Talk when we return. We'll be right back.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Ladies, I am so excited to get to the repertory with a young person. But I really am looking forward to getting up and close in the studio sessions.
I know, like I want to bring a young person, but I also want to leave it for myself. But I do. It's exciting.
Well,
like,
maybe we take the young person to the broader conference.
Maybe we all go together.
No, I like going to theater alone because that's how I make friends.
Did you?
And it's like that's how I literally will make friends. But if you're with a group of people already, then you can't make new friends. So I'm always
you can
like,
go together and sit in different areas.
Yeah.
She don't like.
I'll walk in with you, but I'm not like I can't chill with you after that.
So, you know, I learned something about myself.
Tell me.
And it might be like a terrible thing to say, but I found that I cannot go to a theater performance on a Friday night.
What?
And here's why. Because if you put me in a dark room and I'm sitting down and I've already worked all week, all 3 jobs.
Makes sense.
You know, I go, all of a sudden, I'm the old lady who's falling asleep.
But not the repertory.
No, you're
it's
right.
so intimate, you would not be able to.
You're right.
Even whether it's in the studio space or the traditional theater or Webster's campus, you're going to get a lot of interaction. Because I think the one thing about the repertory theater that's so different is it's intimate. And so you don't have a moment to like, they're right there.
And I bet somebody would say, excuse me, ma'am, could you please
stop snoring?
But or when they fence live or Robin.
I was just wondering how that was going to work. But either way, I think this season is going to prove to be very exciting. What Kate has planned is going to keep us invigorated. What I love is that we get to get involved and interact a lot more closely. So it should be sweet.
Yes.
Or we just go on a Sunday.
Oh, well, I'm game. No,
I'll keep you awake, okay?
I know you will.
I'll keep you going with her, remember?
No, well,
tell us about
I'll break down and sit with you, okay?
Tell us about it after. That was such a good conversation, guys. Thank you so much. We have to thank our guest again, Kate Bergstrom. You are all that. And hey, Otto, the Augustin Family Artistic Director of the Repertory Theater. Kate is doing a great job. The Repertory Theater of St. Louis. And thank you at home for watching us as well. The show might be over, but you can always find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, or YouTube, or wherever else you can tune in, but you can also go to stltv.net. I'm Jade Harrell for Amber Clear, Jamie Ballantyne Dolby, and Ivy Hartman. We'll see you next time on Let's Talk.